वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग आई वांट टू आस्क यू सर कि ज़्यादा भागने से क्या नीज जल्दी खराब होते हैं और इज इट सिंपली अ मिथ?
Totally a myth. It's a bullshit. ज़्यादा भागने से even 20 to 30% नीज की हेल्थ में over the period of time improvement होता है. नीज का हेल्थ टोटली डिपेंड करता है कोलेजन रिजनरेशन कितना हो रहा है जॉइंट्स के अंदर, टेंडन्स का हेल्थ क्या है और रेंज ऑफ मोशन कितनी है. तो इन सब केसेस में आपका आप रनिंग कर रहे हो और स्ट्रक्चर ट्रेनिंग है बैलेंस्ड विद मोबिलिटी, फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी, फिक्सिंग अप रेंज ऑफ मोशन, स्ट्रेंथ ट्रेनिंग, तो डेफिनेटली नीज का हेल्थ अच्छा होता है. अगर जो किसी को 50 इयर्स की एज में नी पेन स्टार्ट होने वाला है तो रनर विल बी स्ट्रगलिंग आफ्टर 70s और 80s, नॉट बिफोर दैट.
Do you think massages, sauna, ice baths, and physiotherapy? What are the roles of these four things?
I don't recommend ice bath during the days when you are training heavily. Ice bath and cold shower is kind of wellness thing, more of a wellness thing, not a performance thing. So when you are putting your body for a certain weeks on a highest training load, you are letting your body to handle that stress. And if your body by itself will be able to handle the stress, then it will recover, it will become more stronger. So during those periods, ice bath is not mandatory.
So आपके हिसाब से सर what is a recovery routine which you recommend to this age group 13 onwards?
So recovery routine is something. Let me go back in this case. It has been said that you have to put 10,000 hours in training to be successful as an athlete. After 10,000 hours, you can consider yourself ready for your peak performance in your life, right? So to spread these 10,000 hours, you almost take 10 years. So in this journey, nowhere you should feel tired. So if I say that I'm training a young athlete and if he is feeling burnout or he is feeling tired, that means he is not able to adapt. He is not able to digest the training. So first, the training stimulus I am giving, stress I am giving to the body, and that if that is overstressing him, right, and he is not able to recover or go back to the normal situation, and keep it on the zero again, then the purpose of training is always lost. So recovery part is very essential. The kid has to be very fresh always. For example, if I say to my athlete, you are 14-year-old or 16-year-old, 18-year-old, today you did some workout, evening also I want to make you sprint, are you ready? Anytime I'm ready. So that's so that person is recovered, athlete is recovered. Right. So he is not overstressed, he is not overburnt. If he says me that same kind of session I will be able to do after 2 days with the same intensity, that means I have churned him so much. It was not meant for that, right? So if I repeat this stress cycle for long time, then there will be the drawbacks. So the athlete and the coach has to avoid the burnout training system, right? So athlete has to be always fresh, first of all. Second, for the recovery is the proper nutrition, sleep. If my athlete is working hard in the morning session, he has to have a nap in the afternoon, right? Yeah, that is very necessary. For athletes, it's always eat, sleep and train. Eat, sleep and train. Whatever sequence you follow, right? So that has to be there. Between two sessions, there should be having a nap. That is very essential because recovery is about resetting your mind and body, right? So whatever adaptability is there, if suppose in the morning session, the athlete has put up a lot of work and his heart rate is very high, and his nervous system like parasympathetic nervous system is still stimulated, so he has to cool it down. Sleep is the only method that when body is not working on the life saving things, then only body can work on the growing part, right? So growth happens when you are sleeping, adaptability happens when you are sleeping, right? So and then the mitochondrial level or the, if I say that glycogen has to be going to the mitochondria and fulfill the carbohydrate level,
Right.
throughout the body, in the liver and into the muscles, then it happens in the sleep only.
Correct.
So the
Yes.
best way, like growth hormones for the young kid, and then resting the body metabolically and spreading the nutrition, all things happen during the sleep only. Having a nap of 20-30 minutes to 40 minutes is all good. It's mandatory. So for recover the body freshness, having a nap, right kind of nutrition, and the passion behind the passion given, sorry, passion shown by the athlete is very essential.
Very essential.
So if he's happy, he's doing difficult tasks with fun. That means he's recovering. And coaching also has to be in a way that athlete enjoy the training.
Right.
So
yeah.
there is a saying in our coaching system that training has to be athlete oriented. Training should not be goal oriented actually. Training should not be coach oriented. Training should not be checked and planned what a parent think. It has to be customized. It has to be very specific to the individual athlete.
Right.
So athlete has to be the center, has to be in the center of any kind of training, and it has to be focused on his well-being, his interest, his potential, and his aim.
Right. So we are here to learn a lot from your experience, and your journey. So when you said 10,000 hours one must complete, I want to know when did you actually begin, at what age, and over the years, आज की डेट में इस एज में पहुंचने के बाद what is your exact recovery routine? We want to know and tell the audience what do you do to recover from a trail run or endurance run?
So I've been running since I was a kid. I don't even remember when I started running.
Okay.
Yeah. So then coming to the recovery part. So recovery happens. It's a relative thing actually. The kind of load I am giving to my body, and my body is through the years, my body is able to handle that stress and load. So it starts recovering very fast. Even though the load I was getting on my body 5 years back, and with that I was struggling in recovery, but today I'm able to recover very well without much hustle or giving much importance, right? So recovery is something like that. You stay consistent with training, your body adapt to the load, and adaptability itself give you the edge, and you start recovering. And it's like a learning for the mind and body, that you make the body learn that this much of the load you are going to have, and by anyhow you have to recover. And when you put your body and mind to that line, and it align itself, it says that okay, I'm supposed to be ready on Monday for this kind of session. Even though Sunday I'm tired, I will be there. First a few weeks body will be tired, or it will be not up to the mark, spiritually not be good, you won't be lifting that much, but eventually body learns, भाई तुम्हें यहाँ पर आकर के मंडे मॉर्निंग को 9 बजे you'll be putting up under this much of the thing, तुम्हें करना ही पड़ेगा. And then body starts building
Adapting,
itself,
following the mind,
and
basically.
following the mind, and behind the scene body start working. Actually ये चीज़ है, बॉडी अडेप्ट कैसे करती है, ये हमारे ह्यूमन सर्वाइवल से आता है. सो अब इफ़ आई एम टेलिंग माई बॉडी कि 9 बजे मंडे को इतना हार्ड सेशन है, तो बॉडी पैनिक मोड में होता है. इवन दो मैं आपसे बात कर रहा हूँ, आई एम ईटिंग, आई एम डूइंग समथिंग, माई बॉडी इज प्रिपेयरिंग माई सेल्फ फॉर दैट मंडे 9 o'clock.
Monday 9 a.m.
So it's working. So by itself, my hand will go on the water. मुझे कितना पानी पीना है. मैं खाना खा रहा हूँ, my body knows कि I will be eating this much of the calories or carbohydrate. So वो बोलेगा थोड़ा सा और खाना पड़ेगा. By itself, you have subconscious feeling I should be eating more. So with the time, you develop a feeling कि इस चीज़ के लिए मुझे इतना प्रिपरेशन चाहिएगी. आपको ज़्यादा प्लान नहीं करना पड़ता, सोचना नहीं पड़ता, एंड रिपीटेडली आप करते जाते हो. बॉडी स्टार्ट्स अडेप्टिंग, बॉडी स्टार्ट वर्किंग on the things, what is going good, what is going bad, and with the brain itself they make a formula कि मेरे लिए रिकवरी पैटर्न सेट होता है, ये प्रिपरेशन के लिए, ये गोल के लिए, दिस इज द प्रोसेस आई वांट टू पुट फॉर माई सेल्फ, this many of the rest days, this many of the calories, this much of the protein I need, this many of the sleeping hours, and this much of the other aids you can think about, this many times I have to take massage in a week. So इस तरीके का रिकवरी पैटर्न सेट होता है. फॉर मी, इफ आई स्पेसिफाई हाउ माई रिकवरी हैपन्स, फॉर मी द फर्स्ट थिंग आई डू आफ्टर माई रन, सो आई ऑलवेज टेल पीपल, time your carbohydrate around the training mode, right?
Before or after?
Before or after.
Before and after.
The most of the carbohydrate has to be around the training, because carbohydrate is the main fuel.
Fuel, yes.
Yeah. So whatever energy you are having in the body, you'll be putting up in the training, right? And then that energy itself will make you faster and stronger, right? And you keep on building that, and on the race day you perform better. That is the prime thing. So first thing, I always focus on the carbohydrate. So athletes don't have to watch their calories actually. They have to eat optimum because they are going to burn end of the day. So the athletes don't have to do dieting, and they are not here. The prime focus is not losing the weight or losing the fat because they itself are so lean and they are going to do it by
Right.
anyhow. So calorie deficit, this is the one of the issue athletes face, and they nowadays on social media there are so many influencers and dietitian people. They are not able to put community in a different way, like this advice is for the athletes and this advice is not for the athletes, right? So most of the advices are for the people who are sedentary. They are not
Right.
burning calories, they are not doing workout, and they want to be fit while staying on the couch, right? So for them fasting is good, for them eating less calories is good, for them having a balance of macro and micro is good. But for athletes, prime thing is the energy and the calorie, right? So calorie part has to be there, and after that, protein requirement and all that come up. So my first thing for the recovery is the calories, right? I'm eating enough calories before the workout, during the workout, after the workout. So that is one thing. Second, once I finish my run, I go for a walk, 5 to 10 minutes of walk. I hydrate myself. I keep a bottle and hydrate myself just on the walk only. Then I stretch a little bit. My third thing, I always do mobility. So mobility is the one thing that people miss, right? Mobility and the range of motion is something. Whatever stress I put on my body, the range of motion and mobility workout, it it just put my range of motion on the normal level, and so that there are no biomechanical issues coming up in the next session, right? So and the next thing is the protein, right? So within 30 to 45 minutes, I will take a protein rich meal, and then last thing which I consider is a nap.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are the very essential things which you can, any athlete can do if you are little lucky with time, and then you can put up, uh, you know, uh, more focus on the day movement. Like while working, you consciously go for a walk. On the phone, you're working, you go for a walk. As you also,
Yes.
do a lot of
Walking.
walking. Yeah,
Yes.
you prescribe people.
Yes.
I am a fan of walking actually.
Yes.
I walk a lot. I cannot just sit. I cannot see. For me, like movement is the in any form. Movement is the main thing.
Yes.
So moving the body is the key to recovery also. Because when you are moving, blood circulation is there. Water food is in the body. It will circulate to the muscles and the tissues and the organs, even to the brain, and you feel good. So it will be evenly distributed. So just having a meal or just sitting on the couch is not enough.
Not helping.
You have to just do a normal walking,
Right.
right? Even a 10 minute of walking is good. So this is my essential for the recovery session.
These are the essentials which are your basic essentials, and
Yeah.
you have probably followed them for years and
Yeah.
years, sir. But on a specific trail, अगर आपको muscle soreness या किसी जगह पे body part में, like lower back takes a lot of strain when you're running,
Yeah.
or when you're hopping down a hill.
Yeah.
Sometimes the knees take the impact. Sometimes your ankles could be taking the impact, or even shoulders,
Yeah.
depending on the weight you're carrying
Yeah.
on your body.
Yeah.
So for that, do you think massages, sauna, ice baths, and physiotherapy? What are the roles of these four things?
If I talk about sauna is good for sauna has numerous benefits.
Right.
First of all, it gives the adaptation and the heat benefit to the athlete, right? If somebody is training in the heat, plasma volume increases and the performance increases in the race, right? So that is one of the benefits. Second, it relieves the muscle soreness, right? Third, it maintains and make the body learn how to manage the hydration, right? Because when the fluctuation is there in the core body temperature, body struggles with the hydration.
Right.
So it's in the survival mode. So body tries to uptake more
More.
hydration, and then it is a part of recovery then. So sauna has two major benefits. One is the plasma volume, which benefits the pumping of the blood and then later on into the performance. And second is in the hydration and the soreness. Coming to the massage is one of the easiest, you can do anytime, anywhere, and it relieves the fascia. So fascia is a web of the, it's like a web over the muscles and the tendons, and it carries like a bundle. So fascia is something which keep everything intact in like a all web, and it is behind skin. Okay, so when you are doing massage, you are relieving fascia and the stiffness in the fascia, plus you are relieving the muscle knots, plus you are giving you're relieving the stiffness in the muscles. And the last one, when you are doing massage, you are getting, you are giving the blood flow to the muscles which are already tight or which are already sore. And because of that, blood flow, there is an even distribution of the fluids into the body. So these
Right.
are the key benefits of massage. So for me, massage is the first thing which I do, right? And you can do hand massage or with a therapist also. You can have a massage gun, that is also very important.
Yes.
And for my sprinters which I train, and then they have very frequent muscle tightness or something, fascia issue. So people sometimes athlete doesn't understand, is it a fascia issue or
Or is
it's
it
the
the
tightness
muscle?
in the muscles. So they need foam rolling. So after every sprint they have to do, or before the sprint also, they have to relieve the existing stress, right? So foam rolling is very essential. So if you see my athletes, they will be having always a bag, carrying a mat, and in one hand they will be having a
Foam roller or
foam roller or massage thing or small gun or something. So that is their essential pack.
okay.
So that is very necessary. And what was it?
Ice bath and physiotherapy, sir.
So ice bath is something. I don't recommend ice bath during the days when you are training heavily and you are not going to do any competition, because ice bath little bit it interferes with the adaptability, right? So having frequent ice bath, you are lowering down the stress and the blood flow is not coming to the muscle. Ice bath restrict the blood flow. So if your competition is coming up in a week or something, then ice bath is good, because that time you don't need the new kind of training load. You don't need adaptation, but that is the time when you don't want the inflammation and the soreness. So ice bath definitely reduce inflammation and soreness, and that is good for in competition time, or you are going to perform somewhere and you want a fresh body. But when you are building your body, or you want to make strong and there is no nearby goal coming up, then you should avoid ice bath.
Okay.
And ice
Okay.
frequency of ice baths would be just once in a week.
So I would say that, today the information comes out so easily through social media, Instagram, and ice baths have become such a popular thing and they're highly promoted as well. So I would say कि training के time पे या फिर completing an event, it's not really necessary according to you that, ice bath probably hinders the recovery or the muscle to relax down immediately. Would you say that a cold shower every morning would be something which improves your immunity and wakes you up as a person?
Yeah, so there are two different things with the
Yeah.
ice bath and cold shower. Ice bath and cold shower is kind of wellness thing, more of the wellness thing, not a performance thing. So if you see on Instagram also, anywhere, people who are recreational athletes, or they are doing it for their aesthetics and they want to feel good. They are seeking for the adrenaline and they are chasing mental strength. Ice bath is good.
Okay.
But if you want to make yourself strong, or even you want to see strength and speed comes with the training load.
Right.
So when you're taking ice bath, you're making things easier for you. Okay, your system is getting on zero again, and you are feeling resettled and recovered very fast. But there is a point that you should not recover so fast also when you are putting your body for a certain weeks on a highest training load. So during those weeks you don't have to recover so fast, because you are letting your body to handle that stress. And if your body by itself will be able to handle the stress, then it will recover, it will become more stronger. So during those periods, ice bath is not recommended.
So naturally, अगर body अपने आप को heal करना जान जाए,
Yes.
without having to depend
Yes.
on ice bath, it could make you perform better and grow better as an athlete.
So these are the recovery aids. So any external help, it's like not letting your body do its own work. So we have to also teach our body how to recover by itself, right? How to handle this kind of stress, because it's a good saying that it's better to bleed in the training rather than in the war, right? So if you're training, you are making so easy. So when there is a war thing for an athlete, and no, not for a recreational person or the fitness chaser or wellness kind of person, but for an athlete. So he has to think about, yeah, let me come up with all kind of exposure and difficulties in training. Let my mind and body struggle a bit, and on the rest it will be easier for me. Because when an athlete perform, he has to do multiple heats and semis and finals in a duration of 3 days, and they all go 100%. So for him, like the 3 days of soreness and inflammation and the full mental and physical struggle is the peak thing he's been exposed in his lifetime. So for that thing, his training also has to be at certain level of that kind of exposure.
Great. So that means you need to prepare as if there is actually a war.
Yeah.
And perform as if this is the only opportunity you will get.
Actually,
So
yes.
you kind of put in the right amount of hard work and
Yeah.
effort. Now, when we start young, sir, say about the age of 14 or 15 and 16, do you ever experience that, your children or, students you are having, they experience any ITB kind of issue, or is it an adult issue only for, grown-ups?
ITB is used for everyone, and
Okay.
actually ITB is not an injury; it's a syndrome, right? When an athlete is not engaging his core and hips, and he's not aware in the movement, right? So ITB flares up. So it's a lack of hip strength, first of all. Second, lack the hip strength and the core stability. So these are the major criteria.
Right.
So when how ITB happen? ITB is a band which stretches from the hip to the knee, right?
Right.
And it's in the outside of the body, outside of the leg, right? So when the hip alignment is out, you're landing outward or away from the center of gravity, not underneath the body. So it puts extra stress on the joint or in the particular area where ITB is there. So that resistance and the friction in the band itself gives you pain. That is not essentially an injury, right? So once you fix the alignment, means you have to fix the hip, right? When your hip is strong, alignment again goes perfect, and there is no ITB.
Right.
So that is basically uh, not a proper warm up either. You are not engaging your all muscles. Muscles are not activated. Tendons are not so well activated. Core and hip muscles are not getting engaged during running or descending the trail or something. So that time ITB happens.
एंड आई थिंक जब आप स्टूडेंट्स को ट्रेन करते हैं यू वुड प्रॉबेबली बी एबल टू ऑब्जर्व और आइडेंटिफाई कि इनका पोस्चर सही नहीं है while they are training and then you try to correct it for them कि आपको पैर ऐसे आगे बढ़ाना है या हिप ऐसे फॉलो how it should be aligned.
Yeah, yeah.
So ये आइडेंटिफाई करने के बाद ट्रेनिंग definitely helps them to put things correctly and
Right.
in order.
Right.
So मैं personal experience अभी share करूँ sir, when I was younger and I would simply go for a 21 kilometers out of excitement and end up with pain on the lateral side of my knees. And I'm 40 today. I have started training much better. And I would say that doing my squats and strength training, engaging my core regularly, has made me a better runner over the years.
Right.
So ये जो है education, I think हम लोग को time के साथ और experience के साथ ही आती है. But yes, when someone comes to you for that coaching, आप शायद इनको पहले ही identify करके उनको train करना शुरू
Yeah.
कर देते हैं. तो ये मे बी नहीं होता होगा आपके students में.
Yeah, when you are training professional athletes,
Right.
there is no scope of making mistakes, during training.
Right.
So in my I have a concept. Before running, make yourself a running body. So I always recommend that we don't know what is the flaws in your biomechanics, what are the flaws in your posture, your gait, and how your hip is dropping. I don't know. First, I have to make you and your body as a running body. So concept is make your running body. So in that we put up all kind of training, a balanced kind of routine. Everything is included like hill running, drills, biometrics, strength training, core exercises, right? Sprints, intervals, and number of things, right? So if you do all the, your training is comprehensive. Your body has been getting every muscle part, every tendon part is been touched, and in a balanced way. you are getting trained over the period of time. So your biomechanics and posture by itself will be perfect. If you see elite athletes, they move so good. The
Right.
prime reason is that
Yes.
only that in the training there is no target. I have to strengthen my ATB or I have to engage my core during running. Even they know, we are not aware of it because we are pushing hard. So that time nothing comes to the mind. It's always a brain fog, right? You are fighting for the life actually, and that time also your body remembers the posture and biomechanics because you have the muscle memory, and that muscle
Right.
memory come when you are training something day by day, day over day, with some essentials, and your training routine for since the beginning of your training cycle has been so comprehensive that your body is foolproof with all kind of training. And even if it feels like some software is running in your body and that's saying that your arms should be relaxed, you should be breathing through your nose and mouth half, and then your core should be engaged, landing under your center of gravity, and stride length has to be this much, work on your cadence, so everything just falls in the place because your training has been very comprehensive. So
Right.
that is the magic of having a structured training plan.
Right. So, this is such a big message to anyone out there who wants to run for a particular goal. Or even if you're a recreational runner and you just want to run better, there has to be strategy, there has to be planning, there has to be comprehensive care of your muscles, a little bit care towards nutrition, definitely, and recovery. So, ideally, I would say find someone, a right coach who can guide you and help you out sooner because we learn from our mistakes.
Yeah.
And you can learn from somebody else's mistakes and make your journey smoother. So this is great. I think a great something which parents can definitely look for if they are looking that their kid should be doing something better at sports or specifically running. So sir, now I want to talk about something very common कि आपका जूता कैसा होना चाहिए when you're running. I know there is a concept of barefoot running also in the Tarahumara tribe, the Mexicans who used to run the trails, and they are just so good running with their sandals. And हम जब closed shoes के साथ run करते हैं, I know there are ample amount of brands and so many different kinds of mechanisms which even shoes are coming up with. We get shoe bites sometimes. We get nail injuries, under the nail beds or something. How do you ensure that you're preventing these, and what kind of shoe is right for which person? How do you go about that?
So it's all about how habitual you are with the shoes and what kind of terrain you are running. If like I'm a kind of kid who is been always in a city life and never have been on the natural trails or somewhere that I experience barefoot running, then barefoot running is not for me,
Okay.
right? And actually, barefoot running is for someone who is either just practicing it on daily basis, like in my childhood. Uh, if I've been given a new kind of shoe, I was so damn childish. In a week, I will just everything will be the shoe part will be scattered. So for me, running barefoot was not an issue, right? And going to the fields, like going through water channels, going to the river stream, you never wear the shoes, right? And then you run in the sand and you come up back to the house, and even your shoes are lost somewhere, you don't know. One shoe is in the river, one shoe is in the water stream, one shoe is in the field or whatever.
Life was such, I think,
Huh.
simple and
So for
sweet.
me, like, if even today I have to run barefoot, I won't, because I I've discontinued that lifestyle.
Accustomed to running with
Yeah.
shoes is what
So
we have
now,
become. Yeah.
and what I feel that running on tarmac is not a natural thing,
Right.
right? So it's a very hard surface. So running on tarmac and concrete, they are the hardest surfaces. So concrete is the hardest surface. Then it's come to tarmac, right? So there has to be some cushioning between the feet and the surface, right? It's mandatory actually. There is no uh, big words to be using like, oh, go much natural and barefoot. Barefoot running is not for everyone. Either you have to practice it, build mileage on barefoot through years. Otherwise you will be injured. Even when you are landing on the tarmac, your skin rubs against the surface,
Right.
and there is a friction, and it comes out. So to getting the skin hard so that it protect itself, and it takes time, right?
Yes.
So you can not just go and run barefoot. And if you are using barefoot shoes, you should be having ample strength in your limbs, lower legs, your calf strength, your ankle strength, right? Your tibia muscles, right? Your plantar muscles, everything, even your thumbs has to be that strong, right? So without that, you cannot just run in barefoot shoes like Vibram or so Vibram has to be used in a specific manner. You build that kind of strength and do progressive mileage, and then you attempt in a race or longer distances.
Right.
And if somebody is a kind of runner who is using shoes like we do, so there is always a different shoe for different purpose. So for easy mileage or easy running, you have neutral shoe with moderate cushioning. They are not so fast. They are not with carbon plates, and they are very comfy. And you just go in a way that this shoe last for next 600 700 kilometers, and they are kind of daily trainers you use. Then there are the shoes which you use for the training like speed intervals, tempo runs, and you want to be little quick. Okay, so they comes up with the high cushioning, and some shoes are with the carbon plate also, lightweight, and you feel flying in those shoes. And then there is a category of shoes like which are extreme light, very costly also, and you seldom use them because it is a carbon plate, very efficient, and use them on the race day to break your PB or win a race. And so these are the benefit of these shoes, but on the cost side they are very high. Second, you cannot train them or you cannot use them frequently because they give a lot of stress on the joints like ankles and on the knees. And if you use them regularly, you'll be having uh, stiffness in your knees, like you'll be having patella issues or something because joint angle changes a lot in the uh, carbon plate shoes.
Okay.
So they're very aggressive with the foam. So they're slightly aggressive and it's tilted always, and your joint angle also changes. There is a lot of load on the joints. So that entirely changes your posture. It's not so natural. It's an aggressive thing, right? It lean your body forward motion and all that. And again, water impact you are putting, so it comes back with the ground forces and you run fast because of the carbon plate. So these are not recommended to wear more very frequently other than races. So and then comes to the trail. Trail shoes has to be very specific. Like first requirement for the trail shoe is they should be having a good grip. Grip for the sand, grip for the loose gravel, stones and pebbles. And when you are hitting any trail where the trail is very wet, there has to be a different kind of shoe. And I have seen the trails where the big boulders are there, water stream is there, and the boulder and the stone or where I'm landing, it's so wet that even though I'm putting a decent kind of trail shoe, I'm going to go sleep, I'm going to go get a fall, and I'm going to get injured. So for that also there has to be a specific shoe. And the second criteria other than grip is the cushioning. So when you're going down, there is a lot of eccentric loading on your quadricep muscles and a lot of stress on the joints. So uh, actually, when you are running uphill and you are running downhill, the both the things are very different. So during downhill, your body is experiencing 3 to 5 times more load of your body weight. So that much of the stress you're going to put in just one single step. So there has to be some cushioning. Otherwise, nowhere we lift. Even the strength training session, we are not going to lift 5 times with the body weight during a split squat or something to give that kind of strength to the limb. But when you're doing trail running and stepping down, 5 times the body weight is coming at one moment of time on 1 feet. So that in that case, the shoes has to be optimally cushioned. And the next is the criteria of the protection of the forefront. So the shoe has to be in a way that when you're striking against a root or some stone or something, you are having a decent protection. So road running shoes don't have a forefront protection. They are just cushioned and fast. But trail running shoes, anything come up from anywhere and your feet can get struck. Grip has to be there. there has to be absorbing the smoke also, and uh, because of all these factors, tailoring shoes are little heavier also, because you need extra protection and you are going to be on trails or in the mountains for the longer period of time. So that stability, durability, and balance they have to maintain, right? So shoe is one thing in that on the trails and the mountains, which is like a uh, life insurance for you. So if you are going to invest in a good shoe, then you are giving importance to your life, because one tripping in the mountain or in a trail can lead you to a accident, because mountain trailering is kind of adventure sport only.
Right,
So
yes.
having a balance, having a grip, and confident landing is very essential, and that comes with the right pair of shoe plus strength training.
So shoes are, I think, a most important investment a runner makes
Yeah, of
into their
course,
gadgets. You know,
of
the most
course.
important thing which makes you run, whether it's a road or a trail. So, sir, we are not trying to promote any brands here, but I want to know your favorite shoe brand for city runs, where we do have bridges, uphill, downhill courses, gentle ones compared to trails. And I want to know your favorite brand of shoe for trail runs.
Actually, there is no favorite brand as such. There is always very
A mixed set, maybe.
in
Okay.
one, like, as of now, like if I call that I'm training, and during this phase of training or the duration, I'm carrying around 7 8 pair of shoes. So every shoe is very different. Like for example, when I have to run a uphill race, which is road, right? Then I'm using Adidas Adios Boston 13, because they gives good cushioning, plus they're very much effective in the uphill section. You get something back from the ground, and when I'm coming downhill, they are very stable also. So that is the shoes I use for the mountain road races. Then coming to the trail races, during training I use uh, well, there is one shoe from Hoka, and my favorite is Hoka Speed Code 5 as of
Okay.
now. That is very versatile. It's a fast shoe also, but on trails is magical. You don't feel like it's kind of glow. You feel like it's just fitting in the leg and you're just going flawless. And that gives a lot of advantage with the grip, as I told you, balance, speed also, very lightweight. And for the races, I am trying with the Adidas shoe, and that is Adidas Agravic, and it's a very aggressive shoe for the trail races. And for road races, I'm using Nike FFI, of course, and during training in general, I'm using Nike Zoom Fly 6. That is my favorite shoe. So Nike Zoom Fly 6 is my day-to-day run shoe, which I just wear and go run and come back. And just for the easy running, I use some Puma shoe, or just my uh, Brooks Ghost 14, which is a daily trainer. So this is my shoe lineup.
Okay. Okay.
So I carry all these kind of shoes, and depending on the terrain, actually, depending on the pace, terrain, and kind of feel I'm having before the session, and that way I use.
I personally always was running in Nike shoes and even training in them. I have just added Adidas to my simple little collection because I'm not that much of a runner, sir, as much as you are. So that was interesting to know your lineup of shoes. Now I want to know if you've experienced nail bed injuries for your toes, and how, in your experience, have you started overcoming it or preventing it entirely from happening?
So mm, this kind of injury happens when your shoes is not fitting well. First of all, you have to find you have to define a right shoe size for yourself, and that comes to the test and trial. And each brand have different shoe sizes for you, right? If like Nike 9.5 UK is for me, but Adidas UK 10 is there, right? So there are differences in the manufacturer side also, brand by brand, right? And this is the size thing. Second is the you should be having some centimeters of the gap in the toe and the outer of the shoe,
Okay.
so that even your nail should not be hitting on the uh, wall of the shoe, right? So
Right.
that's going to be there. Second, when you're running, there is always a friction, right? So you have to tight your laces in a good way. There is a somebody's shoes is not fitting well, even that is over number. There is a shoelacing system. We say it lock lace.
Right, sir. Lock
Ah,
lace.
so lock lace is very effective.
Okay.
So every runner has to be learning how to
How
lock
to do
lace.
that?
Yeah,
Okay.
that is really helpful, specifically to a trail runner also. Like when you're running downhill, what are perfect shoe you're having in either a road race or trail race, the shoe has to be in a position that your feet doesn't move up and down or slide in the shoe, right? So lockless is the only system that it locks your feet in the shoe at one place and keep it intact.
Right. Very important thing I want to ask you, sir, कि ज़्यादा भागने से क्या knees जल्दी खराब होते हैं और is it simply a myth according to you?
It's totally a myth. It's a bullshit. ज़्यादा भागने से even 20 to 30% knees की health में over the period of time improvement होता है.
Improvement.
Improvement होता है. Knees का health totally depend करता है collagen regeneration कितना हो रहा है joints के अंदर, tendons का health क्या है और range of motion कितनी है. तो इन सब केसेस में आपका आप रनिंग कर रहे हो और स्ट्रक्चर ट्रेनिंग है बैलेंस्ड विद मोबिलिटी, फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी, फिक्सिंग अप रेंज ऑफ मोशन, स्ट्रेंथ ट्रेनिंग, तो डेफिनेटली नीज का हेल्थ अच्छा होता है. अगर जो किसी को 50 ईयर्स की एज में नी पेन स्टार्ट होने वाला है तो रनर विल बी स्ट्रगलिंग आफ्टर 70s और 80s, नॉट बिफोर दैट, right? So that is something I always tell. You are investing, you are staying away from the doctor and expenses of the orthopedic. So running always, it keeps your joints healthy.
ओके सो ऑल्सो रनिंग से आपका वेट बहुत मेंटेन रहता है दैट मीन्स आप नीज को ओवरलोड नहीं कर रहे हो एंड मुझे लगता है कि रनिंग येस स्ट्रेंथ ट्रेनिंग डेफिनेटली एन एड ऑन फैक्टर जो आपको नी इंजरीज से प्रिवेंट करता है एंड वज़न ज़्यादा होने से जो नुकसान हो सकता है उससे भी आपको काफ़ी हद तक बचा के रखता है
Yes.
बिकॉज वेट पुट ऑन नहीं होता है इफ़ यू आर एन
Yes.
एक्टिव रनर एंड अ लीन पर्सन
Yes.
सो दैट्स अ वेरी एक्सीलेंट थिंग सर बिकॉज ज़्यादातर लोग ये सोचते हैं कि मैं ज़्यादा भागूंगा तो मेरे नीज जल्दी ख़राब हो जाएंगे, मुझे रिप्लेसमेंट या सर्जरी की ज़रूरत पड़ सकती है. सो दैट इज़ एब्सोल्युटली अ मिथ.
उसका एक रीज़न ये भी है कि जब इवन ए ओवरवेट पर्सन स्टार्ट रनिंग, ही गेट टू चेक हिमसेल्फ ऑन द ग्राउंड एंड इन द रियलिटी कि मैं जब दौड़ रहा हूँ तो मेरे नी इतने पेन करे, दैट मीन्स आई एम लिटरली ओवरवेट. तो एक्चुअली रनिंग इज काइंड ऑफ स्पोर्ट आपको जो प्रैक्टिकली ऑनेस्ट फीडबैक देता है आपकी हेल्थ के बारे में. आपके नी पेन कर रहे हैं, हाँ रनिंग के बाद नी पेन कर रहे हैं, मीन्स देयर इज ए इशू विद योर बॉडी, आइदर योर बॉडी इज नॉट स्ट्रॉन्ग एनफ. आपको सांस चढ़ रही है मीन्स आपका कार्डियोवैस्कुलर फिटनेस नहीं है. आपको पसीना ज़्यादा आ रहा है कि दैट मीन्स योर हार्ट रेट इज गोइंग अप अगेन, राइट? तो इट्स ए गुड चेक एक्चुअली. तो इनिशियली ये सब इश्यूज आते हैं, इसका इंडिकेशन ये है कि आपका नी खराब हो रहा है, नी पेन हो रहा है. वही इंडिकेशन है कि आपके नी में और उसके सराउंडिंग मसल्स में या टेंडन्स में स्ट्रेंथ की कमी है. तो विद रनिंग यू डू प्रॉपर strength training, you hydrate yourself, you take your nutrition, and with all this you also lose weight. So running is a good self check.
Right. So
you should not go away from running looking at कि रन करूँगा तो नी में पेन होगा. वो अभी तो ठीक है, नी में पेन है, कल को आपको आर्थराइटिस होने वाला है, राइट? कल को आपको विदाउट एनी सपोर्ट आप उठ नहीं सकते हो, चल नहीं सकते हो. हम 70s की एज में अगर जो नी को बचाने के चक्कर में जिंदगी भर रनिंग या वॉकिंग नहीं करते हैं एंड एकदम से बाथरूम में स्लिप हो जाते हैं, सीधा नी बोन फ्रैक्चर होता है, हिप फ्रैक्चर होता है, वो दैट इज मोर डेंजरस देन टुडेज लिटिल बिट ऑफ पेन which is a self reality check. That is very essential.
So this is like a health test you can do
Health test, yeah.
naturally for yourself. अगर
And-
आपको लगता है कि
Yeah.
आप नहीं भाग पा रहे हो, धीरे धीरे उसको बिल्ड करें.
धीरे-धीरे बिल्कुल.
Aggressively नहीं जाना चाहिए.
Always there is a
starting
walk run
से. There's a-
option. Go walk run, walk
Walking.
run, walk run.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
That's how you build.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually sir, when I was I think 25 years old, मैं शायद 1 मिनट भी नहीं भाग पाती थी on a treadmill or road. I think करते करते वो 2 मिनट फिर 5 मिनट, gradually you build your endurance. So I think you just have to be very patient with your body, and human bodies are magical. That's what I believe, and I think we can do a lot of things which seem impossible, but training
Yeah.
And the right kind of strategy to your training can help you a lot perform to your best level.
There is also one evolutionary benefit we have with human body. More way with the aging and more age we get on, our endurance gets built up.
I think so too, sir.
So that is scientifically correct because when how it is happen like our heart is a muscle, our legs also contains muscles and tendons and everything. Lungs also get matured. So a matured body or aged body is always stronger or well on your high potential in the life rather than a young age body, right? So the when your lungs are getting completely sized to the potential of your lifetime, your heart is enough bigger, the size it can be, your skeleton has been grown up. That means your endurance or your mileage or the capability to run will be always higher. That's why marathoner they always mature after 35. So anybody who is in the endurance sport, or you also see that nowadays somebody says, "Oh, I started running after 40s. I'm doing ultra marathons." So that is because of the maturation of the human body. So aging is always in favor of the endurance, right? With the same kind of routine, you always get to do more endurance. So, but in contrast of that, speed is always reverse. You build speed in the early age, right? So whatever you do in your childhood, around from 12 to 25, that speed you lock in your system for the whole life.
So that you start building at an early age, but you mature when you mature, truly in
Yeah.
age also, which is so contrary to other sports. If you see Federer, who plays tennis, I think 40 is the age when most of the sportsmen start retiring, whether it's cricket or any kind of sports activity, particularly. But running is something you can pick up even at a later stage in life.
Yeah.
So this is a fantastic thing, and it's such a solo sport. सर आपको किसी के साथ की ज़रूरत नहीं है, आपको एक opponent की ज़रूरत नहीं है. You can be on your own,
Yeah, absolutely.
and it's healing as well. I think it has a tons of benefit for your nervous system too. So that was about running, and I want to know one more thing, sir. Plantar fasciitis, something which is debilitating depending on the pain which one gets because of plantar. So have you in your experience seen anybody who has a plantar issue yet manages to run endurance runs? So how do they manage it?
So when somebody is having a plantar issue, we don't recommend to run actually.
Okay.
Yeah, because your lower legs and feet, they are the prime uh, load taking limbs. Okay, so anything like your whole body weight, like if I'm 60 kgs, 30 kgs on one feet and 30 kgs on another feet. So if and I'm running with that 13, 35 jack 150 kgs. So in one step I'll be putting 150 kgs. That is really I would say that it won't make any sense that I stress my flared up tendon with the plantar and run with that. So instead of that, I tell people take rest from running. Okay, do proper rehab because plantar is a tendon injury, right? So tendon once the tendon is irritated, okay, so you cannot take risk because in tendons you have grade 1, grade 2, grade 3 injuries.
Right.
So up till grade 2 it's okay that you should be going the healing. Grade 1 you can little bit do walk run and running without any speed training and on the flat surfaces for shorter duration. For grade 2 and grade 3 you cannot run. So if you want to do come back to the training and running, go for the things or the activities which are taking off your body weight, like cycling, swimming, and then anti-gravity treadmills, all that. So don't do jumps and all. Don't put so much of the weight on the plantar. Don't run fast. Don't run on the hard surface, and go to a physiotherapist for the rehab.
Okay, so but I've heard that someone had a plantar and yet they managed to do a full Ironman, and that is commendable. I think they must have really taken care of their regime and the strategy for building up to that point कि वो ये सब चीजें perform कर सके.
There must be 2 3 things. One is like nutrition was not optimum because vitamin D level and uh, collagen regeneration is very essential in these cases. Maybe protein deficient also. Second is the warm up and cool down regime has to be there in place. Third is the training load. So in the extreme endurance sport like ultra trail running or ultra running and uh, Ironman, the training hours are quite long, and the training load is so high that your body is not optimally recovered. So if somebody is building for that race for any year, something kind of that, then you won't be having plantar issues. These issues flares up when you suddenly increase the mileage, you
Right.
suddenly do the speed interval or speed training. There's a high impact, so that gives a shock. It's very common in these cases when you suddenly increase the mileage, training load, and speed up your training sessions, and having injuries like plantar fasciitis and then shin bone, shin injuries, and then ITB. All these injuries are very common
Right.
in such scenarios.
Thank you so much for covering all the running related injuries also and giving us clarity on when and how one should perform if you have one of these conditions.